Want to hear some knock knock jokes? Knock knock. Who's there? CPS. Just kidding, I feed my kids. Come on, people. Like, do you not have a sense of humor? Knock knock. Who's there? Awkward Amy. She's always there. She's always awkward. That's it, you guys. I'm not really good at knock knock jokes. Maybe I'll be better after my coffee. Probably not, to be honest. Awkward Amy's awkward kitchen. Okay, that's it. Okay, for everybody who's, about to call CPS on me because I said I starved my kids, what have you eaten today?
I have eaten a chocolate waffle with yogurt, and
What was lunch?
I had
Hot dogs?
I had hot dogs
And noodles?
and noodles,
And what'd you get when you finished your lunch?
one Hershey Kiss,
One Hershey Kiss. Does mommy feed you?
and then I watched TV.
Did you eat the TV?
No.
Does mommy feed you?
Yeah.
Ow, that kind of hurt. Okay. See, loved,
Mama,
not
mama,
neglected.
mama,
Habits not wiped out.
Mama, 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 mama,
Say bye, friends.
mama. Bye, friends.
Bye, friends. Yeah, love you, baby girl.
Bye-bye, going back to my room.
She's going up to her room. Hey everybody, Amy Pottinger. Welcome to another Messy Life, Messy Kitchen. And today we're going to make an insanely delicious sandwich. Bobby Flay actually called it one of the most thought out sandwiches he's ever had, so also something. We are going to make a beef tenderloin French bread sandwich with some tomato red pepper chutney and a whipped goat cheese roasted red garlic spread. And you guys, these are like some of my favorite flavor combinations. The roasted garlic and the goat cheese just make this beautiful spread. And you really can't go wrong with beef tenderloin. On the show, I made it with a lamb loin. It was also like wicked good. But my grocery store didn't have any lamb loins. I went twice. No, lamb loin. We also had the challenge of cooking with Lipton, and I was able to use it in my vinaigrette as well as in my tomato chutney because it works as a great sweetener. It has some sugar in it, and also the citrus flavor really just does a good job of complementing the other flavors. So let's look at this, guys. This guy's crazy. Look at these sandwiches. These are like monster delicious sandwiches. I guarantee you there's an awkward bite coming up at the end because I have a big mouth like, but I don't really have a big mouth like, the dentist tells me that all the time. So the first thing we're going to want to do is start our chutney because it's going to take the longest. The tomatoes have to cook down. Everything takes time. So I'm going to turn my little pan on here. And what I have here is one dry pint of tomatoes, okay? Pretty little tomatoes. Just going to put them right in here. I'm going to also put in my half cup of brown sugar. I'm going to add a quarter cup of red wine vinegar. Not rice wine vinegar. It's not what we're cooking. We're not cooking with rice wine vinegar today. And I'm going to add a third cup of Lipton. This is green tea citrus. The citrus flavor is really going to add a lot of dimension to this dish. And I'm going to put that in there. Let me get a little bit of salt and pepper action going on because I mean, I feel like there's not really an answer there. So, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And if you're watching this for the first time, and you're thinking like your quantities you're not really sharing, this is all on my food blog. The link to this video is on my food blog. So all you really have to do is go on there and all my quantities will be on there so you'll be able to figure it out. Not too difficult. Okay, we're going to give this a little bit of a stir. And honestly, this just kind of sits here for like a really, really long time because the tomatoes are gonna cook, they're gonna burst. And once they do that, I'm gonna add my roasted red pepper and some other stuff. So now that we've gotten started with that, should we work on the rub for our beef tenderloin? I feel like we should. I actually made it with lamb loin on the show, but my grocer didn't have a lamb tenderloin for me. Thanks, guys. So I did beef tenderloin. Both would be delicious. Totally up to you. It doesn't really matter. So over here, you're gonna wanna have your food processor. And we are going to make the rub for the beef tenderloin. I have count with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm supposed to be the count from Sesame Street. Am I achieving that successfully? I didn't think so. Okay, 9 garlic cloves. You could do 8 or 10. I just really like garlic, like a lot. I have some beautiful rosemary from my garden. It's delicious. I'm just gonna kind of peel off. I've washed this, don't worry. I picked out the bugs for you. Just kind of strip the little rosemary leaves off of the stem. There's about 3 or 4 sprigs of rosemary in there. How's everybody doing today? That's good, good. Since this is actually an interactive experience, it really matters. Okay, 1/3 cup of olive oil. And we're going to add a little bit of Dijon as well. I like to take really similar flavors, well, similar ingredients actually, and incorporate them throughout my dish. So not only is this Dijon in the rub, it's also going to be in our Lipton vinaigrette. Da-da-da. Okay, you can start to see there's like a little bit of steam coming off these tomatoes. That's because my pan's heating up and the tomatoes are gonna eventually start to like bubble and burst over here. Okay, so we're just gonna go with, let's say, 2 tablespoons. Sound right? Great. Also, some salt. Making it rain with salt. I'm definitely not Salt Bae. I'm not that sexy or interesting, really, honestly. I like salt. The thing about the salt is you can always add more later if you want. It's not that big of a deal. There's gonna be a lot of flavors going on in the sandwich, so I wouldn't worry too much about undersalting. This is fun. This is fun, isn't it? Okay, lid. There it is. I know you're gonna like this noise, guys. Let's see here. I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. It's a little bit thick, but that's fine. It doesn't really matter that much, to be totally honest. I feel like I should be telling jokes or doing something interesting. Sorry, friends. Okay. Over here, I have my beef tenderloin. Mine is about 3.5 pounds. Seriously, I would have preferred to use lamb because I love lamb, and lamb just kind of has that gamey bite that's going to be offset with other flavors. But I checked twice. They didn't have lamb loin. Like, my life, I was pretty sad about it. But I'm a trooper, so chances are I'll be okay. You will too, don't worry. If you're contemplating self-harm right now because I didn't find lamb loin, I recommend that you don't do that. That'd be being like super dramatic. Don't be that dramatic. Come on. So really we're just kind of slathering this on. There's no real science to it. We just kind of want to get that flavor on there. So it's going to infuse it. Beef tenderloin is an incredibly tender, let's, for the sake of redundancy, cut of meat. But you have to kind of add flavor to it. But you don't need to add too much because it's just such a beautiful, delicate piece of meat. But let's get something going on here. Look at this. La la la. No real science. It's like, I mean, my 5-year-old could do this, but I'm not gonna let her because this is not the cheapest cut of meat. She doesn't get to help mommy today. Okay, see, like I feel like you're capable of this, right? This is something we can all do. We got that? Awesome. Something I'm absolutely in love with, I use every day without fail, is gonna be this guy. It's my silicone mat. They're perfect. I love them. I'll include a link. They're just awesome. So I'm gonna transfer the beef to my silicone mat. I'm gonna use my hands, which are washed by the way, and just make sure I get a little bit of that mustard that transferred to my cutting board, back onto my meat. And I'm gonna wash my hands before I touch my oven because we all know I don't wipe down my cabinet. I do wipe down my oven. So, ta-da! Okay, lamb loin. Beef tenderloin, you guys. whatever. We're just gonna go with it. Yeah, that's gonna go in the oven. It's at 400 degrees. I'm gonna keep it there, I think. I'm gonna keep it at 400. I actually have some garlic roasting in there right now, so they're gonna become friends. The roasted garlic and the lamb. You guys, I got like 5 hours of sleep last night, so please excuse this energetic, stellar performance as you all unsubscribe from my YouTube channel as quickly as you can. Not that there's that many followers anyways, but yeah, I'm pretty special today, huh? Okay, I'm gonna do some dishes, be right back. Okay, here we go. You guys can see my tomatoes have been cooking down for a little while. They're starting to like break down, wrinkle, and all that jazz. So earlier when I said 1 dry pint of tomatoes, I actually added another pint. So now we have 2 dry pints of tomatoes. I have this lovely roasted red pepper. He's a lovely guy. Roasted red peppers are like one of my favorite things in the entire world. So I just roast them all the time in my oven. If you have a gas top stove, this is the first time in my adult life I have not had a gas stove, and it like breaks my heart. I cry about it daily. I bought a diary just to write about it. None of that's true, but I am really sad about it. Okay, so once your pepper's cooled enough, because you don't want to burn the shiz out of your hands, you're just gonna peel off all of that skin and all of that blackening, and then we're going to go ahead and add that. I did this too soon, you guys. If anybody is taking this, like professional tips from Amy, newsflash for you. I'm not professional. I know it doesn't show on Food Network Star when I'm running around frantically or saying stuff like I am a stay-at-home mom. I know you guys can't tell. You think this is a professional kitchen and I know what I'm doing, but that's all a facade. It's all a lie. I tricked you. Okay. There we go. Awesome. Roasted red pepper. I'm gonna put it in my food processor. Oh, I don't want to miss that piece. I love that piece. Okay. Ow. I am going to not puree it. Puree it! Look, I can't even work my food processor at home. I'm doomed. One side. Puree. Add it. I love adding the roasted red pepper because it adds a different dimension of natural sweetness. When you roast it, it makes it even sweeter. It totally changes the flavor profile. And it's just gonna add, like I said, another dimension to this sauce. Who doesn't like dimension? So we're gonna have like that salty creaminess from the goat cheese, the sweet, almost bitter kind of tomato. And all these flavors are really just gonna complement each other. So I'm gonna give this another stir. This has a while till it's done. I mean, with a chutney, you kind of almost reduce it down to a jam. This isn't technically a chutney because I pureed my roasted red peppers and I decided to skip my nemesis, the onions. You can obviously add some yellow onion if you want, but I really don't like onions. I use them very seldomly unless they're one of those things where it's just absolutely necessary, like chili. Like, who makes chili without onions? I guess you could say who makes chutney without onions. The answer would be me, but yeah. There's no onions. So we can just call this a roasted red pepper tomato spread if it makes you feel better. If you want to like hold me accountable to my word or whatever, we can do that. That's cooking. Tenderloin's in the oven. I'm gonna clean out my food processor and then we are going to get started on our Lipton tea and Dijon vinaigrette, okay? Okay, so I'm actually turning down the heat of my chutney because if you look at this, you can see that a lot of the moisture content has cooked out. That's what we're looking for. You know, chutneys typically take about 45 minutes to an hour to reduce down, but I like to look for visual cues, and the fact that there's not a ton of like loose liquid is a really good visual cue. If you've ever tuned in before, I have briefly explained my fanatic and obsessive love of roasted garlic. Honestly, for me, it tastes like candy. Like, I will just like share and eat it all day long. I know that's not the norm, but it makes me happy. I'm easy to please. What can I say? I'm a simple girl. I'm going to put this into my food processor for my Lipton tea vinaigrette. So let's go with about a 1/4 cup roasted garlic cloves. Roasted garlic cloves have a sweetness to them that Regular garlic obviously doesn't. That's a little bit pungent, so we want to kind of, I wouldn't put a 1/4 cup of garlic cloves, unroasted garlic cloves, into the blender. That would just be insanity. I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of the Lipton. That's going to kind of help act as a sweetener for it. This has a really nice citrusy sweet flavor to it, so yeah, that's really going to taste good in there. That's going to be good. We're going to add some Dijon. Once again, let's go with 1 tablespoon. Let's go with 2 tablespoons of Dijon. What do you think about that? Good job, Amy. Oil. Okay. Oil. What is this? A 1/3 cup. We're going to add, let's go with like a 1/2 cup of olive oil. So I'm going to add a little bit more than my 1/3 cup here, because that's the measuring cup I have over here, and I don't really feel like walking and going and get the other one. I do have to go get garlic out of my fridge though, because I do want 1 clove of fresh garlic. Hi, welcome to my fridge. How's it going? Okay. 1 clove of fresh garlic, and also let's go with red wine vinegar. Okay. Listen, no one can accuse me of thinking things through thoroughly before I attack them. It's just not the way my mind works. Okay.
Mom,
Yes, sweet pea.
I'm just getting paper.
She's just getting paper. Okay, 1/4 cup red wine vinegar. About 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We don't want this to be too salty. And this is just what we're gonna dress our arugula with. So it's not just like a dry arugula. And some fresh cracked pepper. One more knock jokes? Just say no. How cute are these though? The real question is, what's cuter, me or my shakers? It's the shakers, isn't it? Especially if I make that face. It's a true story. Okay. Stir this. We don't want anything in here to burn. You know, big waste of a beef tenderloin. He has a while. Okay. So I literally, the only reason I measure food is for my food blog, so I can tell you how to cook it. But I never really follow recipes. I do everything to taste. So I might taste this and go, meh, needs more salt, or meh, needs more vinegar. But we're gonna find out right now. Definitely does not need more salt. I'm gonna add a little bit more of this. So we added a 1/4 cup earlier. We're gonna add like another tablespoon here to make it a little bit sweeter. And that's that, okay? You can go ahead and take this and just set it aside until we are ready to dress our salad. Okay, now we're gonna make our goat cheese and roasted garlic spread. If you know anything about me, you know my love for roasted garlic is only rivaled by goat cheese. When I first started my food blog, I actually had a family member be like, oh yeah, you know, it's kind of cute, but you need less goat cheese. No, negative, not even remotely accurate. Pretty much everything could use goat cheese. Obviously there's exceptions, but there's not a lot of them. Truly, goat cheese is like my favorite thing ever. Okay, we have 4 ounces of goat cheese. I have had my goat cheese and my mascarpone at room temperature because it's gonna make it a lot easier to mix them together. If they're cold, obviously, it's gonna make it more difficult. I mean, I feel like you can use deductive reasoning there and be like, yep, the opposite of what she said. Okay, I wanna maintain a lot of the integrity of the goat cheese's flavor, so I'm not going to use all of my mascarpone. I'm going to use, this is 8 ounces. Let's see here. I'm gonna use about half of this. So we're gonna have an equal ratio of goat cheese and mascarpone. Mascarpone. Okay, listen. Once again, nobody accused me of being a genius or even a food authority. Just ask Twitter. Apparently I'm a twit. Apparently I'm an idiot. But the good news is I have a loving family, and the people who say mean stuff to me on Twitter probably don't. So, joke's on you. Yeah, no one ever accused me of being mature either. Sorry, don't really know what to say. Okay. Oh, you guys. Some cheese just fell on my counter. Should I wipe that down or should I leave it? You guys, these are really serious dilemmas. Wipe it down or leave it. I'm gonna wipe it down because we all know my husband wants me to wipe down my cabinets more, right? Right. Hi. Drop it like it's hot. If a pin tries to get at you, you drop it like it's hot, right? I do. Okay. Roasted garlic. It's gonna make friends with my goat cheese. Let's see here. Honestly, I'm so tempted to put this entire thing in there, but I feel like half of you would be like, I don't know about that one, Amy. So we're just gonna go with about a half cup of roasted garlic. You guys, I'm sorry, I can't myself. I'm adding more. You can do about a half cup, but it makes me pretty excited. You're just gonna want to coarsely chop it really quick. It's pretty soft, so it will mix in, but it just makes the pieces smaller. So, look at that. You guys, honestly, I'm probably gonna have the rest of this roasted garlic like eaten by the time I finish this, and my husband's gonna come home and be like, Amy, have you been eating roasted garlic again? Because we know you haven't been wiping down the cabinets. Just kidding. He only asked me if I wiped down the cabinets like once a day. Also, just kidding. It's less than that. Okay. Yeah, the mascarpone will add a lightness to the goat cheese, even though I think goat cheese already has I think it's pretty light, but somebody else might not. So I'm just kind of stirring this here so that everything is nice and mixed in evenly. You guys, I'm really just gonna I'm gonna put the rest of the roasted garlic in here. So you can either do a half cup if you're a normal person, or you can do a whole cup like me if you're trying to deter vampires. That's really what this is about. I'm trying to deter vampires. I just really love roasted garlic. So I bought my husband a smoker for like late Father's Day, early 9-year anniversary. We actually have been married twice. Just like lots of other military people, we did a courthouse wedding and our church house wedding. So this December, in like 5 months, we will have been married in our sweatpants courthouse wedding for 10 years. But August 23rd is our 9-year church wedding anniversary. So he got a smoker for late Father's Day, early anniversary, primarily because I wanted to buy a smoker, so that's what I labeled it. I Googled, can you smoke garlic? Because I was like, oh, garlic, smoked garlic, super exciting. You can. I tried it. It actually made me a little bit sad. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be. But roasted garlic is never disappointing. It's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. I'll be doing these weeks over. Okay. Look at that. It looks like a spread that's nice and spready looking. You guys excited? I'm excited. Okay. You can see my chutneys kind of. You see that? It's almost like a jam. See? And here's the other thing too. Once things cool, they'll also it'll be a little bit more gelatinous once it cools. Because when it's hot, like all of the sugars and stuff are a little bit more free. But once we cool it, it'll have a little bit more of a jammy texture. So on that note, I think I'm just gonna turn my stove off. Over here, I have my friend French baguette. I like how it looks. I think it's like really pretty on this thin slice of bread. I think it just makes it like a beautiful, delicate sandwich. However, if you would like a wider sandwich, obviously you could do that. I don't want to like, pigeonhole you, not my bread knife, into any certain kind of bread. But you're going to want a hearty bread because, you guys don't know where my bread knife is. Oh, it's over there. There's my bread knife. You're going to want a hearty bread because it has, like a red meat. It has a couple sauces on it. So if you don't go for like a French bread like this, you're definitely going to want like a sourdough or something like that if you want something that's a little bit thicker. So we're gonna slice my friend down the middle. I always like to toast my bread, like spread a little bit of butter on it and toast it because it just adds more flavor. And who doesn't like flavor in butter? Anorexic people might not like butter. I like butter. Clearly not anorexic. What's that line in Super Troopers? He's like, baby, I'm gonna butter your bread. That's what we're doing right now. We're buttering my bread. You can butter your bread. So I just like to pop it in the oven for maybe 2 or 3 minutes just to melt the butter. I don't want to crisp up the bread too much because we don't want it to be difficult to bite into with all of the layers that we're going to create. Butter lid. Butter lid. For anything like me, you need to go. Okay, hold on, Evan. Get your steam out first. Oh my gosh, you guys, that beef tenderloin smells delicious. Okay, so here's another thing about me. I love raw meat. Not raw meat. Actually, I do like raw meat. I like really rare steak. So if I cut this and you're like, ugh, not okay with how much redness is in that. I need mine a little bit more well done. Do it. I'm not going to judge you because I'm not going to like big brother you and see what you're up to. So there's no way that I can actually hold you accountable for how you like your meat done. I feel like we're at a lull. I'm gonna tidy up, get things organized, and then I'll show you how to plate this delicious. Okay, so I have had my beef tenderloin in the oven for probably about 45 minutes or so. It's a really thick tenderloin. So although 45 minutes may sound like a long time, the inside's still gonna be pretty rare. So let's take a look at this guy. Ooh, look at that nice crust that it has on the outside. That looks legit. Pretty excited about that. We always let our meat, before cutting it? Sit! We always let our meat sit before cutting it. So that's what I'm gonna do with this. He is just gonna go hang out on my cutting board for a few minutes, okay? Okay. Okay, gang's all here. We have beef tenderloin. Really wish it was lamb loin, but it's not. But this will also be delicious. Please don't let that deter you. This will be delicious. I just love lamb as much as I love lamb. I'm just naming things I see around the room. Okay, Dijon vinaigrette made with Lipton green tea citrus, and the tomato chutney also made with Lipton green tea citrus. And we have whipped goat cheese with roasted garlic, one of my favorite things ever. I sliced some tomatoes. So I had a little bit of beefsteak tomato, but I also bought some green tomato. I know people fry green tomatoes. I've actually fried them, they're delicious. But I love to eat them raw because they have a firmness to them that regular tomatoes don't. So I get kind of excited about eating them raw. So my beef tenderloin has been sitting for a few minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it. I'm gonna cut this really thin because I kind of want just like thin, obviously not as thin as deli meat, but like kind of esque like that. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of get these thin shavings off of it. Also too, the thing is, the outsides are gonna be a little bit more cooked because it has less depth through it. So if you're like squeamish about blood in your meat, which I'm not, I am seriously like a rare meat person, the outside's gonna be a little bit more cooked. Do you see how thin that is? That's what we're going for. Hold on, quality control. Yep. Oh no, hold on, I gotta check another piece. Yeah, I might just eat this by itself. Not true. It's really good in the sandwich. Yeah, as I continue to cut, you're gonna see it gets leaner and leaner and leaner. Not leaner, rarer. Seriously, guys, I had like 5 hours of sleep last night. My neighbor came over and apparently we decided we were gonna talk about life till midnight with a lot of wine. It happens. It happens in my neck of the woods. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that sit there because really it's not like I need to make an entire sandwich right now. see, it's just this lovely little thin cut of meat, so we can kind of like fold it and make it pretty. Okay, should wash my hands because I like my fingers. Bread knife. Put it back. It's not my bread knife. I just use my bread knife to cut my steak. You use steak knife to cut bread. Okay, if you're looking to make this lovely sandwich, first of all, organize your life because it's not my forte. Since I don't need to make this whole loaf, since it's the middle of the afternoon, my husband's not home, and I'm not going to eat for 10, I'm just gonna kind of make like a portion here for you. I like to cut my bread on a bias because I just feel like everything's prettier on a bias, which might be silly, but whatever. Oh, I did not dress my arugula. I need a bowl to dress my arugula in. Okay, just a little bit of arugula, like a handful per this size piece of bread. There we go. Got my dressing. I like my entire life goes in a mason jar. Like I make a lot of dressings and dry rubs, and I just keep them all in mason jars. And I have found too that these plastic lids, you guys, they're not as pretty, but I love them so much more than the metal ones, because the metal ones always get like kind of gross in my dishwasher over time. But these ones don't. Okay, see, I just dressed it so it'd be a little less bland, a little less plain. Okay, take some of your whipped goat cheese spread, put it on the bottom. Do. See, ta-da. Okay, dude, my spoon's attaching me. Arugula. Oh, I should probably like do this up higher, huh? Arugula. Arugula is another one of my favorites. In fact, one of the other contestants on the show used to joke around that they would take all of the arugula in the kitchen, so I couldn't make anything with arugula on it. Look, that, even just that looks so pretty. Look at that. Okay. I'm gonna do one green and one red. Why? I don't know. Because. And then I'm going to take my beef tenderloin. Oh, you guys, okay, I really love rare meat. You don't have to love rare meat. And I'm gonna try to kind of fold it. See? Because it looks pretty. You can obviously cook your beef tenderloin more if you want. I don't want to. Yeah, I know, it's starting to stack up, isn't it? Just a little bit, right? Okay. Brushing this off my fingers. And find a spoon for my tomato chutney. My faux tomato chutney. It's not really chutney. But see, this is the consistency we're going for. See, it's kind of like a jam, but not, because the tomatoes are still maintaining their own shape, but similar texture to a jam. It's gonna go on top right there. Just a couple tablespoons of that. I hope you guys are ready for this really awkward bite that's coming up. My bite last week was awkward. I feel like this is going to battle that. More goat cheese. Might just bathe in this later. I'm just gonna share that with you. That's normal, don't worry about it. Okay. Look at my sandwich, you guys. Look at that. Okay, I'm just gonna cut off a corner here because I don't wanna look like a crazy person eating this giant sandwich. I'm probably still gonna look like a crazy person. You guys ready for this? That awkward bite. That awkward bite. I don't think I'm waiting, like thinking like if I wait here long enough, I'm gonna do it gracefully. That's really not gonna be the case, is it? The good news is, it's delicious. The bad news is, I'm talking with my mouth full. So yeah, we have this beautiful, rare meat, the salty, creamy goat cheese, the tangy and sweet chutney, the crispy, peppery arugula. You guys, this is like where the sandwich world is at, okay?